Are you guys ready to see the new Snow White movie that's coming out? Me neither, but it did get me thinking about Disney princesses, and so today we're going to assign some Middle Eastern scents to Disney princesses. So if that interests you, keep watching, because here we go.
Call me your friend. Call me again. Call me any time of day.
Let's start with some traditional princesses, the oldies but the goodies, the ones that continue to inspire and entertain us, but really don't bring anything new to the table. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was Cinderella. She, to me, would smell a little powdery, a little vintage, a little floral, definitely sweet. And so the fragrance that I wanted to assign her is Afnan's Violet Bouquet. It is all of those things and more. It is considered an amber, sweet, warm, spicy scent, but don't let that smell fool you. It smells completely floral, completely girly, completely like you would expect Cinderella to smell. It has notes of sweet notes, whatever that means, saffron, woodsy notes, citruses in the top, mids of amber, orange, lemon zest, herbal notes. I don't see any of this. And base notes of ambergris spices, woodsy notes, and oak moss. When I smell Violet Bouquet, I just smell something department story, something mass appealing, something floral, something sweet for sure, and definitely just a beautiful feminine scent. So this is Violet Bouquet by Afnan for Cinderella. Then we've got Sleeping Beauty. I'm going to give Sleeping Beauty Zukhruf Pink. And the reason why is because does this not look like a Sleeping Beauty bottle? Oh my gosh, 100 years. This is like a sleeping potion looking thing. It's beautiful, first of all, but also this has a vintage powdery scent to it as well. Very feminine, very marshmallowy. A lot of people compare this to Yara. I don't I guess I could see the same genre, but it doesn't smell the same to me. I prefer this one far more over Yara. This one has scents of vanilla, heliotrope, orchid, almond milk, marshmallow musk, vanilla, sandalwood, and amber. It's delicious. It's lovely. It's just pink. It's just pink. It's called Zukhruf Pink for a reason. I think Sleeping Beauty would go wonderfully with this scent, and so that's what I've assigned her. Then we have Rapunzel. Rapunzel is another super traditional old school princess, and I gave her, in the same vein of these other two, I gave her nothing super shocking. I wanted to give her Le Fleur Bouquet by Afnan, and it has notes of white flowers and flowers in the top, mid notes of fruits, citruses, and musk, and base notes of powdery notes, sweet notes, rose, and exotic woods. Again, this is a lot more sweet and fruity to my nose than Violet Bouquet. Violet Bouquet, definitely you have to like violet in order to appreciate that scent, but it is pretty mass appealing. So is this one. It doesn't smell like anything else that I've smelled, but it is really crowd pleasing, super mass appealing, super feminine, super generic. And because it's so generic, it's also pretty versatile, but it's definitely girly and feminine. So I wanted to give Rapunzel Le Fleur Bouquet. Let's go on to Moana, because she's one of my favorites over the last decade or so. And I knew that she needed something fresh because of her relationship with the water. I knew that she needed something a little tropical because she's an island girl, and that is a huge part of her identity and of the story. But I also knew that she had earned some maturity because she had been through some shit. And so, what I wanted to give her was our old dear Musamam White Intense, which has gone viral for a reason because it is delicious. It's considered a woody and warm spicy scent, which I could see a little bit, but to me, it's a little more feminine than that, in my opinion, than it makes it sound. It has top notes of spices, bergamot and orange, mid notes of coconut, ylang ylang, ambroxan and mahonial, and base notes of sandalwood, musk, and benzoin. Is it woody? Okay, yes, I could see the woodiness. However, it's got something citrusy and something fresh and tropical about it. And so obviously that's why I'm giving that to Moana. I think this is something that most people would like, although it has shocked me that as viral as this has gone, some people are like, I don't see the hype, I'm not into it, which is fine. But I do think that Moana would like this, and for those reasons, the reasons I've already given, this is her fragrance. Moving on to Tiana. Tiana comes from New Orleans, which is one of my favorite cities in the United States. I've spent many times there, and I have stood in that line at Cafe Du Monde over and over. And because Tiana is a chef and because she's so warm and cares for so many people, I knew that she had to have a gourmand. I really wanted her to have a caramel note to go with that coffee and the beignet feel at Cafe du Monde. And yet I wanted her to have something classy and sophisticated as well. And so what I decided to give her was Eclair Affair by French Avenue Fragrance World. And this is a Bianco Latte dupe. It's delicious. If you have not smelled Bianco Latte, let me tell you what the notes are. It has top notes of coconut milk, vanilla bean, and jasmine. Middle notes are caramel, amber, and gourmand accord. And base notes are tonka bean, vanilla, and musk. I think this is perfect for Tiana. It's perfect for someone who comes from New Orleans and whose story takes place in New Orleans. I think it is classy. I think it is warm and inviting. And I also think it is something that someone who works as hard as Tiana does and who has as much sense as Tiana does would choose for their signature fragrance. The next princess that we have is Snow White. This one is a weird one for me because I wanted to give her something appley, to be ha ha ha. But at the same time, I kept thinking about this fragrance because it made more sense to me. And I can't really explain why, because the notes that are on the internet do not seem to fit my experience of this fragrance. So her story takes place in a forest, right? Like a lot of them do. But to me, the majority of what I think of as Snow White is in the forest with her 7 little people. And there is something very beautiful, about Snow White. She's so kind and warm, but at the same time, she's in that forest. She hangs out with all of her forest animals. So what I wanted to give her was Strawberry White Forest by Khadlaj. And I think the reason that the notes are possibly not right on the internet is because this is such a new fragrance. That being said, it says that the top notes of strawberry and blackberry are present, which I could get because this is a very berry forward, sweet scent at the beginning. Heart notes of jasmine and rose, and then base notes of vanilla, amber, and sandalwood. Sandalwood does normally not give such a woody scent, but to me, there is a very strong strawberry scent and a very strong woodsy scent that gives it almost this masculine base, and then the berry at the top gives it a really feminine scent. To me, overall, this is definitely more of a feminine scent, but that masculine base helped me think of Snow White as perfect for this because so much of her story takes place around men and with men and because of men and all that sort of thing. That being said, she's still, a traditional Disney princess. And so I wanted to give her a very fruity floral scent as well. So this is what I gave her. Let me know if you agree. When I think of Pocahontas, I think of what her setting could have given her as well. And I thought that the best fragrance for Pocahontas from my collection would be Nebras by Lattafa. And this is a Pride, so this is often a little more expensive, but because it's an older scent, you can probably find it for about $30. This is supposed to be an Eilish #1 dupe, and it is. It has red berries at the top and cacao in there. It's a vanilla fragrance as well. Definitely a warm gourmand. The reason that I gave Pocahontas this is because of those red berries and the chocolate. To me, not only is that homage to Native American culture, but also it really just reminds me of her personality. She's so warm. She's so brave and bold, but at the same time, there's something extremely feminine about her. And we know that the movie done her wrong, okay? Because what really happened to her was not nearly as cute as what the movie says. But we're talking Disney today, so I think that her deciding to stay back with her family and let John move on and just I'll never let you go in my mind and memories and all that is cute. To me, this is just Nebraska. Pocahontas to me. Okay, let's talk about Merida from Brave. She has a huge family of brothers, and mom and dad sitting around the campfire or the fireplace in their very cold Scotland house. To me, they would all be smoking pipes, they'd all be hanging out, they'd all be laughing, and there would be a rather light, incensey, smoky, animalic smell, perhaps, because we're in older Scotland. And so I wanted to give Merida a very good unisex scent, and because she pushed against gender norms as well, I gave her Al Haramain Amber Oud Tobacco 01. This is a delicious unisex scent. Anybody can wear it, but I do believe that some women might be put off by the tobacco scent. It is a very sweet scent, but it's very woody, and that tobacco scent is pretty strong. So I think this really fits Merida's profile and her story a lot. It has notes of, in the top, plum, apple, licorice, pink pepper, and cumin. Middle notes of labdanum, amber, patchouli, and ylang ylang, and then base notes of honey, tobacco, vanilla, sandalwood, musk, and cashmere wood. It's delicious. It's super high quality to me. But Merida could wear this. She could carry this so strongly as she has her bow and arrow, and I think that she deserves this scent. Okay, for Milan, it was tough for Milan because I'm like, do I want to put a pink scent? Do I want a happily ever after scent with her prince? You know, do I want an Empress scent? Do I want a cowed getting scrubbed in the bathtub kind of girl scent? And what I ended up going with instead was one that would fit all those situations because it's just a strong, powerful scent, which is who Mulan is fundamentally. So what I wanted to go with was a very strong rose unisex scent in the form of Infini Rose by Maison Alhambra, which is it's an atomic rose dupe. It has notes of pink pepper, bergamot, and hedione at the top, Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, and Egyptian jasmine at the mid, and then amber and Madagascar vanilla in the base. I love this smell. This is a 10 out of 10 smell for me. It kind of has those pencil shaving smells. If you know, you know, that smell that brings you back to the schoolroom, but there's something sexy about this. There's something complex and deep and mysterious about this. And I think that Mulan, in any of the situations that she is in, could smell like this and could have this impact and this effect on people being mystified by her and not really quite knowing why. But I think this scent encapsulates that for me. Now we have to go to one of my favorite Disney princesses because I watched the movie over and over and over and over and over and over and over as a little kid. You might say that I cheated a little bit, and maybe I did, but it's what fit for me at the time, so let's just go with it. Ariel, gotta have something fresh, gotta have something aquatic. I didn't want to give her a fishy scent because that's rude. She's one of my favorite Disney princesses, and her voice is delectable. So what I went with was Mayar Natural Intense by Lattafa. And the reason why is because it fits all of those things, but it is beautiful. It has fig in the opening, green tangerine, melon, and coconut water. It's not quite citrusy, but it kind of has that aquatic vibe. Middle notes of lotus, water lily, and jasmine, and then base notes of ambroxan, musk, sandalwood, and vanilla. I think the coconut water gives it that aquatic vibe, but at the same time, there's something very pleasant, very feminine about this. Some people might say this is more unisex because the tangerine and the melon bring in a little bit of a citrus pull. But overall, I think the fig and the lotus and the coconut water come together to make it more aquatic and fresh than anything. So that being said, I think Ariel would smell like this. She's very feminine when she's out of the water and in the water. It's definitely an aquatic floral fragrance. And so to me, this just makes sense for Ariel to smell like when she's in or out of the water. Okay, guys, I've got 3 Disney princesses left, and they are some of my favorites. So let's get through this very quickly. Jasmine. What do you think of when you think of Jasmine? Do you think of Jasmine? No, wrong. She's too strong to be wearing a Jasmine forward fragrance. So what she gets is Empire Empress. This is a very masculine scent. However, I'm just a person on the internet in America in 2025. But if Jasmine was going to be the Empress, right, of wherever she lives in, somewhere in Arabia, right, she's going to be an Empress, right? So she's going to have Empire Empress because she is a strong, very powerful woman, beautiful woman, maybe powerful because of her beauty, okay, because of her lineage, whatever. Top notes of bergamot, divana, and white amber. Middle notes of rosemary and pink pepper. Base notes of musk, leather, vetiver, and oud. This is marketed, again, as a very feminine fragrance. This is Khadlaj's Empire Empress, okay? Beautiful, beautiful bottle, beautiful scent. I will never wear this. It is far too masculine for me. When I smell this, I smell man. Only man, like Superman. Not Jim Bro, but like powerful man. So I gave this to Jasmine because I think she could carry it off. You know, she's got a tiger for a pet, so I figured she can probably pull this off and rock it. Then we have Belle. What am I going to give Belle? There's so many things that you could give a French girl, right? She likes to read. She likes pastries. You know, she talks to lights and clocks and stuff. She has horses everywhere, so I thought oud, maybe, you know, Gaston and her dad, and she rides a horse, and the beast might smell oudy. But you know what I ended up giving her instead? I ended up giving her, and maybe it's because she's French, I don't know, but my mental shortcut was that Belle really belongs with Noble Blush by Lattafa. Tell me if you agree. Do you understand why? I don't really know why. She just fit this to me. Top notes of rose milk, meringue and almond in the mid, vanilla, musk, and sandalwood in the base. I just think this is very feminine. It's gourmand, really, in a way. It's girly. It's kind of mysterious as well. Because I don't have anything that smells like this. It's floral, and that almond scent gives it, again, that a kind of different nuance to some of the other smells that I have. I think this is delicious. I love it, but it's Belle to me. It's just sweet, but also like capable. Like I'm smarter than you vibes. What do you think? And finally, we have Rhea. Okay, she's not technically a Disney princess, but she is, okay? She's literally a Disney princess. So what I wanted to give Rhea was Nouf by Paris Corner. Super strong, lovely, lovely pineapple scent. It is delicious. I will wear this. A lot of people say that this is very masculine. I disagree. I think it's very, very, very sweet. And so to me, it is a truly unisex scent. The top notes are pineapple, bergamot, and grapefruit, heart notes of white cedar, jasmine, and patchouli, and base notes of woody notes and oak moss. Obviously, Southeast Asia that Rhea is based on, pineapple scent. That's not the only reason I gave it. It's also very strong. It's fun, it's playful, but also like she's not messing around. She's got some skills. And so to me, Nouf is perfect for Rhea. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed my selection of Middle Eastern fragrances for all of these lovely Disney beauties. Please let me know whether you agree with my selection. It's totally fine. We're just having fun with fragrances here. Also, stay tuned because my next video is going to be all about the Disney villains. Guess who my favorite Disney villain is? Yeah. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye!